Alright, we got an offer that we haven't had in quite some time. Jacob Conwell. The last one we had of Jacob, I believe, if I recall, if I look correctly, is 2306. That's a while ago. That's a while ago. Oh wait, what? Yes, I believe. Oh yeah. If I recall correctly, I think it's like was it what I think it is? Was it like the like a person that died can be put into a USB stick, and then when you put it in the computer, they kind of become like your personal assistant in the computer? Do I recall that correctly? I think I do. Yeah, the USB SCP, right? Yeah. Did I recall it correctly, mechanic, or was there something I forgot about it? Well, yeah. Jacob, you wrote, "We have the technology." Reminds me of like this episode from SpongeBob when they're trying to get the paint out of the dollar, and then SpongeBob is like beating the shit out of Patrick, accidental, while trying to get this paint off, and then Patrick just goes like, "SpongeBob, stop! We aren't savages." And then he just goes to the computer. "We have technology," and then just uses the computer bash onto the $1 bill. Oh my god. Good times. I think that's my favorite episode, honestly, from like the classic SpongeBob stuff. I just love that episode so much. Upper class safe. Special containment procedures. Individual instances of SCP-2806 are to be kept within high security electronic storage containers within the storage wing of Site-64. All testing involving SCP-2806 require prior approval of Site Command. Testing-6 requires additional approval by the Site Ethics Committee. Following testing, instances of SCP-2806 are to be cleaned of any host remains, sanitized, and inspected for damage before being returned to storage. Per the Skywalker Protocol, any individuals discovered with operational instances of SCP-2806 are to be apprehended, the instances surgically removed, and the subject amnesticized before being returned to the population with a non-anomalous replacement. -5 following attachment to D-133113. This particular instance did not possess the armored fiber covering seen on other instances at the time of recovery. Let me have a closer look. Is there somebody in the background? There's a person in the back. Like, are they holding like a fake hand as well, or what's going on here? This reminds me very much of a of course, there's a Metal Gear Solid 5. Like hand, you know, like Snake's hand there. Very much like it's very much like that, right? But it also reminds me of the robot hand from Nero in Devil May Cry 5. Maybe not like specifically any of these hands, but like the beginning hand that he gets, the very first one right here. Yeah. I think it's even like it's very similar in look. So let's see what it does. If it does anything in similar case, I don't think Snake's hand, really, Big Boss hand, did anything specific. If I recall correctly, it's been years ago since I played Metal Gear Solid 5. Per the Skywalker Protocol, any individuals discovered with operational instances of SCP-2806 are to be apprehended. The instance surgically removed and the subject amnesticized before being returned to the population with a non-anomalous replacement. Description: SCP-2806 designates a collection of 7 prosthetic arms, 6 prosthetic eyes, 3 prosthetic legs, and 4 prosthetic ears. That's a lot of prosthetics. All instances are constructed from a combination of aluminium, PMMA, polycarbonate casings in a black aramid fabric similar in composition to SCP-1360-1. Do I have 1360? I should have that here. I think that's like 1360. Yeah, it's the robot that isn't that like, yeah, isn't that the robot that I wanted to serve at first, but then it goes on a killing spree? I love how I said that 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they were like, "Oh my god, you read a 1 hour and a half like SCP? That's crazy." And I'm like, and I immediately commented like, "You will never see my 57-hour reading of SCP-914 tests." And now I have it as a subscriber special, so eventually they will actually see it. I lied. All instances of SCP-2806 remain inert until placed on or next to an individual missing a limb. You have to refer to as the host. At the particular instance of SCP-2806, is designed to replace. Oh god. Provided that the appropriate command phrase is spoken, a series of thin cobalt chromium alloy wires will emerge from the prosthetic and enter the host at the site of the missing limb. For all instances, the command phrase integrate has been successful. So it's kind of almost like an automail from the Alchemist, except that it has like some like self-attachment ability. These wires will then connect with the host's peripheral nervous system over the course of several minutes. After this time, the SCP-2806 instance becomes fully animate and responds to the host in the same manner as a natural limb. SCP-2806 instance will not integrate with individuals who possess all the natural limbs. Investigation as to instances of SCP-2806 are able to make this distinction is currently ongoing. Once an instance of SCP-260 why do you say 6 all the time? 2806 has integrated with hosts. The armored fabric begins to secrete a chemical compound that causes the host skin to grow dermal and epidermal layers of skin over the instance. So it's kind of like taking over you. The best way I can think of is like Marvel Rivals, Ultron, Marvel Rivals like robot skins. I guess it's the best way to say it. I think like Iron Fist Ultron skin. Yeah, kind of like that, you know? It like slowly like takes over you. That's why I imagine right now. We have 2 photons right in a row, okay. Such activity is not observed in the prosthetic eye instances of SCP-2806, in which the iris of the prosthetic simply changes color to match the host's natural eye color, and another footnote right next to it. See addendum A for information regarding the unique nature of -6 amid covering. Such growth begins at the point of integration between the host and the instance of SCP-2806 and rapidly spreads until the entire prosthetic has been covered. Could do something like that, but who knows. All instances of SCP-2806 demonstrate flaws in the operation upon integration. These flaws range from inconvenient to highly dangerous and render SCP-2806 instances unsuitable for long-term use. Another footnote. For an extensive list of SCP-2806 instances flaws, see addendum -A. To date, the only effective means of removing an integrated instance of SCP-2806 from a host is via surgery. Such removal often causes severe damage to the host's peripheral nervous system, with significant central nervous system damage occurring in multiple cases. It is currently unknown as to whether fully operational versions of SCP-2806 exist. Investigation by MTF Gamma 13 is currently ongoing. See addendum C. Happy milestone. Hey Howard, how you doing? Happy milestone, my brother. So I couldn't be there most of the time, but seriously, it's been an awesome journey. Yeah, no, and it keeps on going. It never ends. Oh, something caused my mouse to show the little wheel. And then a list of SCP-2806 instances. So we have like, it's just, I think it just goes down the numbers. So like one prosthetic, there's a lot of prosthetic arms, okay. It goes for all the prosthetic, it did say 4 of each. So we have number 1, prosthetic arm. When clenched, -1 delivers a constant force of 2000 Newton to any object held. So you can just crush things with that thing. Like, 2,000 newtons is probably like very strong, right? Gonna collapse now in the long night. Good night, folks. Okay, no problem. How strong is that? Of force. Large force may be expressed in kilonewtons. For example, the attack class Y steam train and the hit force above around 113 kilo. Okay. Climbing ropes or test assuming we can reset. What can the force necessary to accelerate? Doesn't really help much. 1,000 newtons of force is what you feel if a very muscular or rather fat person weighing about 100 kilograms is standing on you. Okay, so that double that. So 200 kilograms of force. So maybe not crush everything, but like it can definitely do some good. Number 2, prosthetic arm. Fingers continuously move in a random pattern independently of host control. That kind of sucks. But at the same time, it does say deliver a constant force to 2,000. So if I were to pick up this pen with that prosthetic arm, it would grip it with 2,000 newtons of force and just destroy the pen. So I could not use this to grab anything. Dash 3, prosthetic arm. Hand will automatically release any object heavier than 1 kilogram. So you're trying to... This is the opposite problem. Instead of like trying to like, you know, grabbing too strong, this one is not grabbing strong enough. Dash 4, prosthetic arm. Prosthetic maintains a continuous temperature of 50 degrees. Oh, ew, no thank you. I mean, it would be great in deep winter if you're like in an area where it's like in the minus 20, that you have like something that warms you up, but 50 degrees Celsius? It's very hot. And in summer, that shit's gonna boil you. Dash 5, prosthetic arm. Oh wait. Oh yeah, wait. Did it say that it had that many prosthetic arms? Oh, it's 7 prosthetic arms, 6 prosthetic eye, 3 prosthetic. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Prosthetic amplifies desired force exerted by a host by an approximate factor of 10. Oh shit. So okay, I mean that might be doable, but again, like, imagine you try to like just lift yourself up from the ground with that arm and you just fucking like like send yourself flying face forward accident because you added way too much force. Like, and also opening the door. Opening the door must suck because you're like trying to like just like open like this, but then it's just like it just rips the door out of its handles. Number 6, prosthetic arm. Armament covering begins to replace the whole skin, causing the host to break out in patches of armored fibers all over their body. That's the thing that I said before, like how like it's like kind of taking over you. Number 7, prosthetic arm. Fingers automatically repeat actions between 3 to 5 times before control is returned to the host. Oh, that must suck. So that means if you try to write something, even doing this, right? Just doing this means that like you do this and suddenly your prosthetic arm just does that and you're like, okay. Then you want to write. You can write like a D, like so like D, and suddenly your hand just does D, 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 A, 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 A. You know what I mean? That's pretty annoying. 8, prosthetic eye. Eye's focal point remains 10 meters past the focal point of the host's natural eye. Okay, so that must be weird to look at. 9, prosthetic eye. All images are magnified by a factor of 100. I mean, that's pretty cool, but also it must be annoying because, like, I would assume, like, you would have to keep the eye closed the whole time because if you look with the eye, you should see, like, far away. 10, prosthetic eye. Eye points in the opposite direction of the host's natural eye. So if you look to the right, this one looks to the left. That must be also weird. 11, prosthetic eye. Eye briefly ceases to send signals to the brain every 2 minutes. So it's just kind of like stops looking. 11, prosthetic eye. Eye briefly ceases to send signals to the brain. Oh, you read that. Sorry. 12. Prosthetic eye. Eye is unable to move in socket. Oh, so it's just kind of like sits still. 13, prosthetic eye. Eye produces imperfect vision with red-green color blindness. Oh, that, I mean, that's not too bad, but at the same time, it's like compared to the other ones, I would say that's like, it's like definitely like something that you have to get used to, because like one eye is not colorblind while the other one is. 14, prosthetic leg. Leg fails to deliver force greater than 100 newtons, which I assume, how many newtons to stand? How many newtons to stand? How many newtons to stand? Makes sense. About force induces it's not a fixed value, but rather it refers to the force of gravity acting to person. Yeah, okay. Okay, how much force do I exert standing still versus landing? I had to calculate like force I exert in a resting position. Apparently, roughly. So okay, so us standing apparently is supposed to be roughly 850 newtons. Meaning that this leg right here, you cannot stand on the leg. You just crumble. 15 prosthetic leg only delivers a force of 4,000 newtons. Oh fucking hell! So you just stomp everywhere you go with that thing. Hey, if you ever kick somebody, that guy is definitely, that guy's dead. if you kick them. 16 prosthetic leg. Leg performs all actions at 3 times the speed as the host's natural leg. Oh, okay, so if you walk, you have one leg that's just like, the first leg that's like that, and this leg just, so like, you could like walk like that, and then second leg just, actually let me see it. So like, first leg goes like, second leg does that. Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, that would also be annoying. Running would be a pain, because like your left leg cannot keep up. 17, prosthetic ear. These are the last ones, I believe. All sounds are amplified to a continuous 115 decibels. 18, prosthetic ear. All sounds are muted to continuous 30 decibels. 19, prosthetic ear. Constant presence of 50 decibels white noise. Ugh. 20, prosthetic ear. All sounds above 100 decibels are muted. So if somebody yells to you, you won't hear it. Man, if you go to a concert, you won't hear the concert. Like, it's just like, oh, at least one of your ears won't. The other one will. Addendum B, recovery. SB-2806 was recovered by Foundation personnel on July 17, 2015, following a raid on the offices of GOI-1115 Anderson Robotics by MTF Gamma 13, Asimov Lawbringers, near Bend, Oregon. The following video transcript was recovered from a computer within a workshop that all instances of SB-2806 were recovered. Begin log. Individual later identified as POY 45543 Phineas is visible working on an instance of SB-2806 at the room's central workbench. After several minutes, a second individual later identified as POY 53412 Isaac enters. How's it coming? Oh, it's coming. Wait, by design, it's coming? Phineas ceases to work on SB-2806. I've already told you, I'm not meeting that ridiculous timetable. The Gear Falcon series will be ready when it's ready. You were given 9 months. The Peregrine series only took you 4 to get ready, and you had all hands on deck. You are aware that Miss Fuentes already had at least 4 interested parties lined up for the release date. If we fail to meet that deadline, our professional credibility is called into question. Oh, spare me the lecture on professionalism. It's one thing for us to do custom pieces like we did for that Howl kid. Oh, Not sure. I mean, Howard told me we don't need to read any of the tales, so I think we won't. Not sure though. It's another thing for us to produce on a mass scale. I mean, Jesus, do you have any idea how complex this kind of project is? I have a rough... Do you? Do you really? Fine, I don't, I admit it. The magic bullshit is your department, so please educate me on why we can't release on time. Gladly. Getting these prosthetics to work is not like getting the Paragon series or the armors up and running. At least then we got to start from scratch. Now, however, we essentially have to make our gear hijack a natural system that's already had billions of years of troubleshooting. There are quite literally a million things that can go wrong with the integration process, let alone long-term viability. If we release this product and there's a bug we don't foresee, some rich heiress will end up crushing her daughter's head in her hands. At which point, we not only don't have a working product, but we end up with pissing off Marshall and his friends. Marshall, Carl, and Doug, okay? I didn't even want to get involved with this crowd, but I'll be damned if I associate with... Phineas, hey! Old man? You're rambling again. What's your point? My point, whippersnapper, is that it took Edison 1,000 tries to make a light bulb, and he had a whole lab at his disposal. I have myself, Jason, Medea, and a project that is infinitely more esoteric. I think it's fair to say that longer than 9 months is not an unreasonable development time. Imagine how much more cash we can bathe in if we deliver a product that works. So I give you another 5 months. What happens when you say we aren't ready then? These contracts aren't going to sit idle forever. There are other firms that can deliver what these people want. Right now, we have the benefit of claiming we can do it at the lowest cost. So I ask again, what happens in 5 months when you still aren't ready? Are you giving this same spiel? Damn right I will. We're not releasing this into the wild until they're good and ready. And if you disagree with me on that, we can talk to Anderson directly. Vincent will tell you the same thing as I am. You're so damn certain that you're irreplaceable, aren't you? I know I am. Vincent can always find another glorified accountant, but he only has one for me. One of me. As he begins to walk out of the workshop, shaking his head. See you in 5 months then. Isaac leaves. After a few moments, Phineas approaches the computer and begins to speaking directly at the camera. You see, Vince, this is the kind of bullshit that goes down when you make a deal with the devil. Phineas turns off the recording. End log. Reminds me of Megan, because I just watched the film for the first time 2 weeks ago. And that was also like a case of like, how fast can you make something? How fast can you produce? Even though in that case, you know, it was not the main focus, but there was definitely the sense of like, how can you produce this? How do we beat our competitors? How much time do you realistically need? Blah 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 blah. In addition, the following emails were recovered from the same computer. Phineas at Anderson Robotics to Vincent A at Anderson Robotics. Keep Prometheus bound. Vince, this probably won't come as a shock to you, but I'm stepping down from Miss Fuentes' project. If this goes to completion, it will open a huge can of worms that I'm not willing to be associated with. I like the idea of helping people become whole again. That's a nice idea, one that I can get behind. However, once the Gale Falcon series is launched on a new customer base realizes what exactly it is that we are offering, there will be a demand that we go above and beyond. People will want our arms and legs to come with superior strength, our eyes to see through walls, our ears to hear conversations miles away. The rabbit hole has no bottom. Worse, how long do you think it will be before we have some rich, crazy bastard having his son's arms and legs amputated so that he can use our product to turn him into a sports star, or turning his bodyguard into a living weapon? You and I both have first-hand experience with how easy it is to abuse such technology. Once the upgrading starts, it will not stop. At least with the robots. We could shut them down remotely. However, since these things are powered off the host's life force, we won't have such a luxury. We won't have control of the monster once it gets brought to life. Jason and Medea have access to all the notes, schematics, and incantations. If you still want to go ahead with this, they can easily finish the project in my stead. I implore you to pull the plug, but ultimately the decision is yours. Yours, friend, Phineas. From Vincent A at Anderson Robotics, Phineas A. Anderson Robotics. Response, keep Prometheus bound. Phineas, excuse me. If I take a moment to admire the irony in a man who has basically turned himself into the T-800 telling me that we need to tone down our work on a line of prosthetics. Miss Fuentes is offering us a vast market, one in which our product is easily going to be superior. not only for its aesthetic value, but also due to the fact that our models don't require batteries. I would be doing this company a disservice to not see such a golden opportunity, especially one that in my eyes has more potential to heal than harm. If our customers want this to raise themselves above and beyond the normal human experience through us, we are really in no position to judge. We abandoned any moral high ground when we got into this business of selling dev bots and auto turrets. I understand your concern on this matter and why you wish to remove yourself from the project. I won't hold that against you. You are a man of your principles. However, we can't afford to hold idealism over pragmatism. Jason and Medea will finish the Grill Falcon series as scheduled. You and I can work on the title series in the meantime. Anderson. And that probably is how it all started to get fucked up and not fully function the way it's supposed to function. Addendum C, update 31st, 3rd, 16. The following document was acquired from within the Marshall Collin Dock intranet during reconnaissance mission by MTF Kappa 10 Skynet operators. Important, do not discard. Dear Mr. Richmond, thank you for your purchase of Kill Falcon series prosthetics. No other company on the market can offer you such a high quality piece of equipment to help you get back to being 100% and going beyond. Let me put your prosthetic into place, say your pre-designated command word, and allow the integration process to run to completion. Before you know it, you will be whole again. Not only will your Falcon series prosthetic feel like a natural extension of yourself, but within 3 days of integration, it will look like the real thing. Our technology is tailor-made to become indistinguishable from your actual person. I have complete confidence that you will feel good as new. Per your request, the following additional features have been provided to your prosthetics. A Cooling package, option 3. I Spy package, option 1. As always, it's a pleasure doing business with you, Anderson. Kappa 10 has since recovered a total of 247 similar documents from within the MC&D sales database. Attempts to locate these customers by Gamma 13 in conjunction with Kappa 10 are ongoing, with a total of 50 customers located as of 15th 2016. All instances of SCP-2806 required during these arrests were fully operational, with mobile instances providing superhuman features. Now, I think that's like very interesting, because I do think like this seems a little bit like plausible with our technology, you know. Well, of course, it's like a lot of it is also the part that's like definitely the most like supernatural or like not supernatural, but like the most like, you know, abnormal is definitely the one that's like slowly takes over your body. All the other ones, all the other effects kind of seem like potential bugs or potential future stuff, like prosthetics that we can create ourselves, maybe. Like a prosthetic arm that's just way stronger than your normal arm. That sounds like something that's like pretty plausible. But yeah. Well, let's hope no fucking rich man decides to amputate the son or daughter. Because yeah, the thing is that it's definitely possible. It's definitely somebody crazy enough to do that. Let's hope that's not the case though.